Cheers, everyone. Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to talk about this Tennessee bill that is being attacked by the left as anti-LGBTQ+. They say it discriminates against drag queens, and they're in this general tizzy. But when you actually look at this bill and you just go through it, it's very short. Nothing about it really stands out as being over the top or something unreasonable. And it reminds me of the Florida bill, the Don't Say Gay bill, that when you actually look at what it says, not a big deal. The Florida bill says, if you're a teacher and you're teaching kindergarten, your sexual orientation, how you define your gender, is of should be of no interest to these children. Keep it to yourself. Teach them how to read and write. Let them go play at recess. Leave anything sexual alone. And this didn't apply just to gay people. This was for everybody, straight or gay or whatever in between. Just don't talk about or make sex a topic when you're teaching 5-year-olds. Not a big deal, but apparently to the left, that was a bridge too far. I guess they want their teachers to talk to their students about how many boyfriends they have, what their orientation is, and whether or not they feel that they're male or female today. So I don't get it. Of course, we're rational, sane people. So for us, we go, what's the big deal? Why are these people so obsessed with sexuality? And why do they need to talk about it with your kids at school, especially when they're 5 years old? So likewise, this Tennessee bill, pretty basic. And when we go through it right now, you're going to go, that's it. And the answer is, yeah, that's it. But apparently to the left, or members or certain people on the left, it's a problem. So on their website, the Tennessee government, it has the bill summary. And the bill summary says this. Now, tell me if there's anything here that is over the top or is too far or is so ridiculous that it needs to freak anybody out. This bill creates an offense for a person who engages in an adult cabaret performance on public property or in a location where the adult cabaret performance could be viewed by a person who was not an adult. This bill defines an adult cabaret performance to mean a performance in a location other than an adult cabaret that features topless dancers, go-go dancers, exotic dancers, strippers, male or female impersonators who provide entertainment that appeals to a prurient interest or similar entertainers, regardless of whether or not performed for consideration. Now, the key word here is prurient. And what does prurient mean? Well, prurient is defined as having or encouraging an excessive interest in sexual matters. So I'm going to now roll some video, and I want you to tell me if this does not qualify as an adult act. If it's not your thing, you can look away now, but it's fairly graphic, and maybe you've already seen it before on Twitter. But when you watch these performances, how can any reasonable adult look at that and go, oh, there's nothing sexual here. This is purely just some entertainment, some dancing. Look at these videos. Look at these children there and ask yourself, should those children be present for what that person is doing? Again, if you're a rational person, you say, I mean, clearly it's inappropriate. And in the case in Tennessee, it would be illegal. But apparently we have to have this conversation because we have enough sick adults in this country that have to be told and have to have the government step in and say, hey, you can't do this. This is an adult performance. This person's bits are hanging out here. And there's a small child there. And not only is the child there, but in certain performances, the performer is interacting directly with that child. It's again, it's something that you would see in a strip club. Someone on a chair getting a lap dance, and you got a child there, and you got the performer crawling toward them in a very graphic outfit. So we have to apparently define these things for people to say, hey, you can't do these. Now, one thing I think is we have to sort of differentiate here is between dancing and drag queen story hour. Now, I do not support drag queen story hour. I think it's completely inappropriate, but I have to admit, does that meet the standard of something like what you just saw in these videos of dancing, where in very outfits that expose everything? So I don't think it does. So I don't think this bill says you can't have drag queen story hour. Now, some of you might disagree with me, and that's fine. Again, I don't support it, but looking at what the law here says, cabaret performances, and they're referring to dancers, exotic dancers, strippers, go-go dancers. I don't think the drag queen story hour reaches that threshold. So, while inappropriate, and I would not take my kid there, I don't think this bill makes it illegal. And honestly, I don't think it should be illegal. Again, we have to differentiate between something that we think is inappropriate for children that we don't support versus what should be against the law. And so the dancing, very clear, that should be illegal in front of children. The drag queen story hour, I don't think it quite reaches that threshold. So pretty straightforward. Don't put on skimpy outfits and dance in front of children in Tennessee or anywhere else. That's all it's saying. And if that's a problem for you, I got news for you. You are a sick individual if you think what you saw in those videos should be legal for small children. Yeah, you have a sick mind, and you should not be in society, and you should not be anywhere around children. And it's unfortunate in 2023, we have to make these things, we have to codify this in law and clarify, because we have so many sick adults in our society pressing the boundaries. Every few years, something new pops up. 10 years ago was gay marriage. Okay, whether or not you support it, fine. Not a huge deal, gay marriage. And then you see the drag queens. Then you see the drag boys on TV, the drag children. And now we have to stop and intervene because we want these performers to not dance in front of children and expose themselves to these kids. And we have to actually make laws for it. Sad commentary on where our society's at and where our society's going. And one can only imagine where things will be at in 10 more years. It's scary to think about that, because you think, well, how much worse can it get? Well, it can get a lot worse. And we may find out, unfortunately, in the coming years, just how bad it can get. Unless we, adults with rational minds who want to protect children, if we stand up and prevent this stuff, then great. That's what we need to do. If we don't, then 10 years from now, God knows what we're going to see. And that will be scary. Well, that's it for now. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.